All right, guys, we are in the Bobcat. Got the Dozer blade. I have no idea if I'm going to use this video or not. It is running on dark. I got home from work and had to go get fuel put in the Bobcat. That finally delivered fuel today, and I had the Dozer blade on. I played with this just a little bit the other day. So what I do know is it digs in a lot quicker and a lot harder than you think it would. So you can see where when you run it just a little bit, like right there, I mean, it's already digging in way farther than I thought it was gonna. So you can see where people would get the washboard effect so quickly. And obviously, I mean, look at that, how much dirt that is. I didn't think I was digging in at all. So it really gets a lot of dirt quickly. So you can see where you get the washboard effect. So the biggest thing that I noticed about is you have no, like, the front edge, and I'm just running it like idle. I got to turn it up just a little bit. Look at that, that's nice gravel too. But we're trying to get this down a little bit lower, so that you can, we want the water to go away from the sugar house a little bit more than it does right now. So you can see where it's just, you can't see that front edge. So I had it, and I came down off the hill, and I had it for the hill, and then when I came off the hill all the way, it's just cutting in. It was cutting in way too much, and now I've had it where it's just, so that looks about right. So if I cut in just a little bit more, I don't even have my hydraulics turned on, but cut in just a little bit more, and that should be about right. So you can see where, like right there, see how it lifts up, and I went right over top of what I had. So seeing that front edge is like the hardest part. The only thing I could think that makes it easier is you put the blade all the way down, and actually, I don't know if it worked better. I think it works better tipping it back. Then get your angle. See, then I'm tipping up the machine a little bit. So probably right about there is probably really going to dig in good. And then you angle it. You actually have to angle the loader head, tilt tilt your bucket forward to control it. Because if you put it all the way back, you're not even going to scrape anything. So it's going to take a while to get used to that. I mean, I imagine running a D3 Dozer. I know I was talking about D3. That's what my excavator friend has, is a D3. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's it does a nice job. So what we're trying to do is we want to get this here in front of the sugar house, so it drops off, I don't know, 6 inches would probably be good. But we do have by the doors that we have to fix. So the hard part is right now I'm starting to back up. My tracks are going up on the hill. So I don't want to get too low to start off. So that's the hard part, right where I am now. And I have the camera outside mounted on the arm of the loader, just for something to try. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Couldn't get the mic to work on the one camera. And I don't have all my mounts. So, I was gonna, for a minute there, I was gonna try to run 3 cameras, but I don't have enough. I don't have the mount that goes on the camera. I have the mount I can put on the skid steer, but I don't have the mount to go on the camera. So I just had the camera. I just put a magnetic one on the boom and thought, well, maybe that'll work. Of course, I'm talking, so I don't know if it's going to work or not. Usually, we would do the voiceover. Usually would have the camera, the voice recording from inside. But I don't know. We'll see. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, it does a really good job. It dried out, surprisingly dried out a lot down here today. You see I got a little high spot there, so the hard part I'm going to have right here is coming down off this hill. So right now my tracks are backed up on that hill, and I can't, you know, it's just hard to, when I get down off of there, to maintain, you know, the edge like I want it to dig in. So I can see where that, you know, stuff like that's going to be like the challenging part. Like I said, you know, in the previous video, I'm probably better at grading with a bucket than I am with this right now. I mean, I got pretty good with a bucket. But why'd I, you know, you think about that, well, why'd I get real good with a bucket? Because that's all I had, right? I think I had it tilted just a little bit. We'll try it like that. But see if we can remember how to turn the lights on. There we go. So it just kind of sucks that I got home and had to run over and get fuel, and then there was I had to put a couple bales out for the horses, and that ate up my daylight. It's only 5:06, so just kind of unfortunate that I mean, that's probably good. If I could maintain that, that's probably pretty good. I could probably live with that, how much that's cut out. I mean, it is solid, so I don't really want to dig into it far. So the problem I have is back towards the farther away you get from the sugar house, the farther, you know, there's no gravel back there. There's doesn't have the base that this has. So that's where we're going to need the gravel. So actually it'd be nice to be able to dig that. I don't know, maybe I should dig that out first and then try to move this stuff back there, but I'm not real sure. I'm not sure like how the easiest way, best way, whatever you want to say it is to do it. I know what I want for a finished product. I want the water away from the sugar house, but I don't really want it, you know, to be like a big wet hole either, where it does go. But so that was pretty good. I did pretty good with that one. That looks like a pretty good little swath there. So I do have a couple high spots in it. You know, we're only talking about, I think I figured it out, it's about 60, 70 feet from the sugar house to go. So there's a high spot there. About the middle it's high. So I'm just gonna try to put the blade down right here and kind of work into that, and I can see nice gravel. So this is exactly what I wanted to do. See if I can, and that, you know, and the hard part is like I never used the angle tilt 6-way blade before, so I know that right now I'd like my right edge to dig in a little bit better, but I'm not sure how to, you know, how to do that exactly how you're supposed to, or I should say how it's going to work. Now I don't really want to dig in much there, much more than I did. I'd prefer to not do that, but I don't know if it's going to matter. And I'm not even half throttle. I'm just kind of playing with it. This thing can push. It really can. And I'm not, you know, I want to work, you know, and right now, like, I know you can't tell from the camera, but right now, so right there, I just pushed past the sugar house probably about 3 feet. So I mean, if I have issues past the sugar house, then I have issues past the sugar house. I'm not gonna, for now, I'm not gonna worry about that. I don't want, you know, I don't know if I can get the whole thing how I want it. I just kind of can tell that's a high spot. I think that did pretty good. But see, then as the skid steer comes down, it's going to dig in more right here. So I'm just trying to gradually pick it up so it doesn't dig in too much. And it dug in more on the right because the right side is, I have it tilted just a little bit. But I think that's pretty good. I think I'm learning a little bit about it, you know. But I'll tell you what, from just little bit what I did the other day and what I've done now. The other day it was muddy, so I really wasn't getting what I wanted the other day because it was just muddy enough that it was causing problems. You know, the dirt just doesn't do what you want it to do when it's muddy. I mean, that goes for anything, whether you're backhoeing or digging or blading or whatever you're doing. You want it to be, I wouldn't say it has to be dry, but you want it to be definitely not wet. So I'm real happy that it's dry today because we got, you know, and it's basically just, we got a little bit of sun today. The sun was really out good this afternoon. But, see right there, it's hard to do that because I'm riding up on the skid steer's riding up on that hump. So I just kind of, I think that's the thing. I would guess that's probably similar to a dozer. I mean, the dozer's not going to fit in here any better. So you're going to have to work little spots a little at a time and be patient with them. And see right there, I've got to push down. I got to get my blade edge down farther, quicker, like right here somewhere. And I think that's the thing. You just got to be patient. I mean, if your tracks are up, my tracks are up the hill, my blade's down. Obviously, if I go way big, I'm going to really take out a lot. I don't need to. I need to take out about, you know, about 3 inches or so. And now it's riding up a little bit. So, and the thing is, like, I haven't, you know, I'm not, the way I'm running it, which I think is actually pretty cool because it kind of takes a little bit of it out of, like, a little bit of the guesswork out of it. The loader is, I'm putting the loader all the way down. So the loader's all the way down right there. I can't go down any farther. And it's all just the tilt of the blade. So if I tilt the blade back, I'm up off the ground. So it's all just tilt it forward, get that edge to cut, and then you either have to tilt it farther forward to keep cutting as your skid steer moves, or pull back to cut less. And so right there, I'm having a hard time with that because of the way it rides. But you see where I took off a little bit. So I actually got what I wanted. I just got to keep going. So I'm going to set it down here all the way. The blade's down all the way. Can't do nothing. It's all tilt. And then I don't know if, you know, how it affects it being angled to the right a little bit, but, and then it looks like, I think that's just a low spot, actually. It's hard to tell right now, but I'm pretty sure. Then I'm just tilting it back as I get close to my destination because I don't want to make a big hole. If it goes past the, so basically I want it to go lengthwise of the sugar house and then far and then away from the sugar house. I want my low spot to be back there to my ditch, which if you saw the video the other day, you probably saw that. So if I have a low spot here, you know, the water right there, if that was a low spot, the water's going to be right in the middle, which is not what I want at all. But it does look like it really drops off. So it looks like it's real high. Looks like this might be the high spot right here. Hard to tell because it's getting dark, but looks to me like right here is probably the high spot. This pass. So we're just trying to dig it in a little bit more. That looks better. And I could tell by the gravel that it has a pretty good base from before. So that's probably exactly what that's probably real close to, I wouldn't say exactly what I wanted, but it's probably real close. So I have a laser level. It's a Bosch. I don't know. It's for me, it's too sensitive. For me, for roughing this stuff out, it's too sensitive. I don't know. Like, I don't know. The guy that does my excavating, he has an older one. I don't even know what brand he has, but his is like, you know, mine is like, even on the, it has 2 settings for sensitivity. Even on the one that would be the bigger range, it's like too sensitive. I would rather come out here and have it tell me that I'm You know, I'd like to be within a couple inches. And I don't know, like the other day I was thinking, oh, you come out here, I set it up and I tried to do some reading. And basically you kind of have to do like, find a low spot and go from there, because the high spots don't even read on it, you know. And it's a good one. I think it's just a little bit too exact for what I want. I just kind of want to rough it in. I want to know that I'm close. I want to know that I have, you know, I don't know, a little bit of slope to away from the sugar house, I would say, as I'm sitting left to right now, and from back to front as the front of the machine is sitting. So I want it to go from the back of the machine towards the front of the machine, across in front of the sugar house, and then right to left away from the sugar house. That's the goal. And you know, if you get low spots, it's not the end of the world, but you're going to have where the water's going to sit, and you just don't, you know, I just don't want the low spot to be in the middle, right? So I was just thinking the other day, if I set that up and I messed around with that, I could maybe get an idea of, but I just couldn't get, it's just way too sensitive. Now this blade is a double-edged blade. You can back blade with it. It's designed, it's actually advertised that you can do that with it. But I'm happy with what I'm getting. I'm just, you know, and you know what? It's not bad. I'm just kind of idling. I'm not even half throttle. I'm getting what I want. I know the guy that I hire for my excavating that did all the excavating, he did a lot of excavating down here. He did it at the sugar house. He did it at the barn, the cabins, the barn. He hardly ever, he does not run full throttle on any of his machines. He's very, you know, very precise. Now they'll run the throttle, if they're doing this, they would probably run the throttle up to go backwards quicker, but he's really precise, does real good work. And I think that's what people don't understand. It takes patience. I know with my backhoe on the back of the tractor, I only run about 12 to 1400. I don't run it more than 1500 RPMs. And it takes all the herky-jerky out of it, and it makes it so it's actually more comfortable for you as an operator. See, now I think I want to angle this in and start cutting out right in front of my right track, and then put it down and get part of a blade, and then put it down and get more of a blade. I'm not sure, but I think I must have turned up a rock. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do, yeah. I'm just gonna try to, I got like you can see where, I can see this is high. I guess I didn't have it down all the way. That's part of the problem there. But it's definitely got about, I can see where in front of me, about 5 feet or so, it is definitely low. And I want to bring back my angle a little bit, I think. But, you know, that's the thing. You hit rocks, and they're going to mess you up, because you're going to dig them up, and they're going to come out, and they're going to mess you up, and you're going to have to redo that area. But I'll tell you guys, I'm happy. I'm real happy. I can learn how to use this. I mean, I ran it, I don't even think it was half an hour the other day. And however long this video is today, and I'm pretty happy with it. You know, is it gonna, you know, like right there, can I go back in there? Now this is where it's like a little bit more challenging than you think, to go back in there. Like, can I go in there, and you're thinking, can I go in there and just level that off? I don't know if I can or not without taking more. It's not a bad thing to take more in this area, but I just don't want the low spot. So the 2 worst spots for a low spot would be right in front of the doors and right in the middle, well, right in the middle of the whole thing, right? The water settled in the middle, because you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. You know, if you got water in the middle, you're not going to be able to do a lot about it. And then obviously the third worst spot would be if it was where the cars park and people are going to get out and step in a mud puddle. But anyway, I think we're going to call it a video. You probably can't even see anything right now. The camera blacks out after timer. I wonder if I could change that, because I can't see. I can see the camera blinking at me, but I can't see what it's seeing. But pretty cool. I'm happy. I mean, that's a pretty good job. From what I can tell, as I sit right here, I have a high spot to the right of me, about well, it's actually right on the right edge of the blade, and it goes out about 5 or 6 feet or so, and then it looks like it drops off again. So I'm getting what I want, and this stuff's really solid, so I'm not too worried about that. But anyway, we're gonna call it a video. I don't even know if we're gonna post it, but this is the first use on video of the Bobcat 90-inch Bobcat 6-way blade. I'm Jared. This is Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, and Triple D Cabins. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more